He hired a clown to make his daughter smile. But when she removed the wig, she revealed a heart, a story, and a strength that would change their lives forever. The sun was bright over Silver Oak Estates, where helium balloons floated above a grand backyard and a small bounce house inflated near the pool. Inside the mansion, Eli Turner, 38, a high-powered single dad and CEO of a booming tech company, adjusted his daughter's birthday banner one more time. Everything had to be perfect, because for once, he had taken the day off, because Harper, his daughter, was turning 6. And ever since her mom passed away 2 years ago, birthdays had been more about filling gaps than blowing candles. "Did the clown confirm?" Eli asked his assistant over the phone. "Yes, sir. She should be there any minute." He exhaled. Harper didn't ask for much. She just wanted a silly clown to make her laugh. And if it took hiring 1 through 3 agencies, so be it. At exactly 1 p.m., a woman stepped onto the lawn wearing oversized shoes, a rainbow wig, and a polka dot jumpsuit. Her name tag read, "Bubbles." The kids screamed with delight. Harper ran toward her. "Are you really a clown?" The woman dropped into a goofy bow. "Only on Saturdays." Everyone laughed, and for the next hour, she juggled, danced, cracked the worst, best dad jokes, and even performed a balloon animal show that left the entire crowd enchanted. But it wasn't just her act. It was her attention. She knelt when she spoke to the kids. She remembered names. She noticed Harper's quiet moments and gently pulled her into laughter, again and again. Eli stood to the side, arms crossed, watching closely. He couldn't explain it, but something about this clown felt different. There was warmth beneath the face paint, poise beneath the silly voice, something deeper. And when the kids were distracted with cake, the clown slipped off her wig to wipe her brow. That's when Eli froze, because beneath the makeup stood a woman with calm, steady eyes and a presence that didn't belong in costume. He walked over, stunned. "You're not just a party clown, are you?" She smiled. Not really. And what she said next would make Eli realize she hadn't just come to entertain. She'd come to heal. Eli stared, speechless for a moment, as the woman, now half in costume, half herself, offered a small, unbothered smile. "You look familiar," he said slowly. "Doubt it," she replied, removing the red nose and wiping away a bit of face paint. "We've never met, but I've been here before." Eli raised an eyebrow. "Not here," she clarified. "This kind of party, this kind of house, but always from the kitchen door, never the front gate." She extended a hand. "Lena Ross, children's therapist, former kindergarten teacher, full-time goofball on weekends." "Wait, you're a therapist?" "Yep, a very silly one. The clown gigs are something I do for kids who need more joy than their insurance will cover." Eli blinked, stunned. "You're kidding." "Nope. Some of the happiest kids I've ever worked with came from the saddest places. So I bring joy where it's missing, even if I have to wear a wig to do it." Eli glanced back at Harper, who was now laughing with 2 other girls, swinging her legs as they shared a balloon giraffe. He hadn't seen her this free in years. "You're the first person to really get her to open up," he admitted. "Even her school counselor hasn't." Lena didn't respond with praise. She just nodded knowingly. "She's grieving, quietly, and she's trying to protect you. Kids do that, you know. They hide their pain so the grown-ups don't hurt more." Eli swallowed hard, caught off guard. "You noticed that?" "It's what I do." There was a long pause. "She's amazing," Lena added softly. "She just needs space to not be okay sometimes, to feel what she's feeling, without having to smile all the time for your sake." The words hit Eli like a slow, honest wave. He had worked so hard to make things normal that he hadn't realized. His daughter didn't need perfection. She needed permission to feel. "Do you always go this deep at parties?" he asked, with a small smile. "Only when the cake's good," Lena winked. And just like that, the CEO, who thought he had planned everything, realized he had hired much more than a clown. He had invited in the one person his daughter, and maybe he, truly needed. By late afternoon, the kids had gone home. The balloon arch had deflated, and the backyard was a mess of half-eaten cupcakes and crumpled napkins. Harper sat under the willow tree with Lena, still wearing a pink paper crown, her shoes off, toes wiggling in the grass. Eli watched from the patio, a strange feeling swelling in his chest. Not discomfort, not fear, relief. For the first time since his wife's passing, he saw Harper fully herself. Giggling, asking questions, even resting her head on Lena's shoulder like she'd known her forever. He approached quietly. "Can I join you, ladies?" Lena smiled. "Only if you agree to take off your shoes." Eli chuckled and did just that, sitting cross-legged beside them. Harper beamed. "Daddy, did you know Lena used to be a teacher, and she has a cat named Rufus who only drinks from the bathtub faucet?" "I did not," he replied. "But now I feel left out." "That's okay," Lena said. "You're invited to our next tea party." "Deal." Later, after Harper went inside for her bath, Eli and Lena remained under the tree. "You didn't have to stay this long," he said. "I wanted to." He studied her face, so unassuming, so alive with kindness. "I think you might be the first adult who's truly seen Harper in a long time." "It's not hard to see her," Lena replied. "You just have to stop looking through your own fear." Eli looked away for a second, heart heavy. "I'm scared I'm failing her." "You're not," she said gently. "You just forgot that grief isn't a puzzle you fix with a perfect party. Sometimes it just wants company." Her words stayed with him long after she left. That night, as he tucked Harper into bed, she looked up at him with sleepy eyes. "Daddy?" "Yeah, sweetheart?" "Can Lena come back next weekend? Not as a clown, just as Lena." He smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her forehead. "I'll ask her." Outside, the house was quiet again, but Eli stood by the window, looking out where the willow tree swayed. He had tried to fill the silence of loss with distractions, with balloons and bounce houses. But somehow, a woman in a rainbow wig had stepped into that silence and brought something far greater than noise. She brought peace. A week later, Lena returned. Not in costume, not with juggling pins or balloon animals, but in jeans, sneakers, and a soft yellow sweater. She stepped through the gate with a bag of art supplies in one hand and Harper's favorite picture book in the other. This time there were no guests, no cameras, no cake, just 3 people finally learning how to breathe again. In the weeks that followed, Lena became a regular presence. She wasn't Harper's therapist, not officially. She was something gentler, more human. They baked cookies, made messy crafts, talked about Harper's mom, not just in memories, but in feelings. Sometimes Harper cried, sometimes she laughed, sometimes she did both at once. And Lena, she never flinched. Eli and Lena often stayed up after Harper went to bed, sitting on the porch, sipping tea and sharing quiet. He learned she'd left the classroom after burnout, but never lost her love for children. She learned that beneath his success, Eli still wrestled with guilt he didn't know how to name. "I keep thinking I have to be both parents," he admitted one night. "You don't," she said gently. "You just have to be present, and kind, and human." He looked at her, really looked, and realized how rare her kind of grace was. Not flashy, not dramatic, just real. On Harper's 7th birthday, there were no hired entertainers, no extravagance, just a picnic under the willow tree. Harper opened her final gift, a framed drawing she had made of herself, her dad, and Lena. 3 stick figures holding hands beneath a rainbow with the words, "My forever people." Lena teared up. So did Eli. And as they all hugged beneath the branches, he knew. What began with a silly costume and a stranger's smile had become the thing he thought he'd never find again: a family.